All right. Had our opportunities, countless. 3rd and 25, and we had a miscommunication on an empty check. You cut a guy loose in that situation, you don't deserve to win. And guys responded, came right back. Jeff made a nice throw to DeMarcus and finished the play down there. We got an opportunity inside the 3-yard line to score. We don't get it done. Defense does a great job, comes back, makes a stop, gives you an opportunity to win the game. We're trying to go win the game, and they got in a blitz look, and we hided the ball inside, and it just tip ball. They get the ball there, and you credit them. They made the plays when they needed to. Got down there at the end. I'm not real sure exactly what happened with the clock there. I've never been in a situation where they put 7 seconds back on the clock. I'll call Steve Shaw for an explanation. I don't know if I'll ever get any, but certainly we'll call to try and find out. So if you ask me about it, I don't know. I never got an explanation on the sideline. So I don't know. I've never been a part of that situation. No flags thrown. I don't know. We'll find out. But, red zone, they were able to convert. Turnovers killed us, especially early in the game. We gave them a freebie there on the ball knocked off. They did a good job running the football. The drive in the third quarter, they were able to stay on the field on 3rd down. We weren't able to get off the field. And then, we didn't maintain drives offensively. But I'm proud of the effort of our guys. Andre DeBose was fantastic tonight in returning the ball. We did a nice job of blocking and making a difference in the game there. We never got anything much going other than Jeff in the running game, but we felt good on some design runs that we had for him in the game. We've got to continue to search for consistency throwing the football, catching the football. Defensively, we just can't have a mental error like we had. They're a good running football team. We knew that coming in. We knew they'd gain some yards, but certainly felt like we'd play the box a little better up front than we did. But, hey, our guys fought their butts off. They had an opportunity to win the game. We didn't get it done. That's the bottom line. But credit LSU, too. They got a good team. As far as injuries are concerned, Matt Jones had more than anything an ankle from the last week. His knee's fine. The ankle was a little loose when he got on the field. He felt like it was slipping a little bit, and we felt like he needed to, not injure it any further. Vernon, I think, is going to be fine. Daniel McMillan had a head injury from the previous week. He was not cleared for the game. And we think LaTroy Pittman's going to be fine. He had all movement. I think everything, more than anything, precautionary to make sure that he's okay. So that's kind of where we are from an injury situation. As far as the Treon Harris situation being resolved there, as we moving forward Friday, it's a very, very taxing week, difficult week for him. I'm very proud of the way Treon and his mother Trinice and his father Tim and how they've handled the situation. It's a very difficult situation for everyone involved. And so it's a learning experience for all of us, and certainly, welcome him back Friday, and I know that he was happy to, trying to move forward. Everybody's a victim in this situation, including Treon. And this isn't good for anyone. No one wins in this situation, and I feel sorry for all of the parties involved because this has been a very difficult time for him and his family, and obviously everyone else involved in the situation. I'll open it up for any questions.
The 3rd down play there, what happened on that?
We had a coverage called, and they aligned an empty, and we had an empty check, and we didn't get to communicate it to one guy. But 10 guys got it, and one didn't. And so we didn't cover the guy. So we didn't get it communicated. We got signaled across the board, and we had a miscommunication. Mm-hmm.
Kevin. Just so you alluded to transfer, just how taxing and emotional of a week was it, do you think, for your team in regard to that, and particularly a game like today where you had so many guys come out?
I thought our guys played their butts off. I didn't think, we understand there's always not going to be the perfect set of circumstances in life, and it's part of the deal. And you gotta manage your situation and move forward.
Thomas, you have a question? Any other questions?
Well, where did Treon watch the game at?
He was in the press box. I felt like it would be a great learning experience for him. I met with he and his mother, Trinice, Friday, and talked to his father on the phone. His father being a college coach, knowing him missing the week and practice and meetings and things, and it was a very taxing week for the young man, seeing him Friday was difficult for him, as far as he was very relieved, obviously, to be back in the building, but it's been a tough time, and he wanted the focus to be on Florida LSU, our football game, and not him. And so we felt like what a great learning experience for him to sit in the box with Kurt, to hear how the game's called, to hear how we see things, the adjustments that are made. So I decided to take advantage of that in that situation.
Richard?
Was there talk to Jeff about putting more air under the deep ball or anything like that at halftime or something like that?
Any final questions for Coach before we bring our players in here? In the back to the left, all the way in the back.
Coach, can you talk about the spark that Andre both played with Brady tonight?
Well, he did a great job in the return game, and there's no question he's an electric guy, can change the field position for us very quickly. He's an electric guy with the ball in his hands. We need to get him more opportunities.
Coach, can you just evaluate how the pass rush did? You guys had a few key stops there, just especially in the last couple of games, they've started to come out strong.
Yeah, we've done a better job of getting some one-on-one matchups where we feel like we can win as far as the protections are concerned, and so I thought they did a nice job tonight for the most part.
And specifically, Jalen coming on another corner blitz, just how's he been developing throughout the last few games?
He's doing a nice job. He's covered well. A couple of well-thrown balls tonight. We were contested balls, and I've been proud of his progress. Day to day, improving himself and getting better and better. Yep.
Coach, the sequence on 1st and goal with the ball at the 2-yard line. Obviously, you've got a touchdown in your hands, and then 4th down. Do you give any consideration for going?
I did. I just felt like being at home. In that situation, to get it to overtime, being on the road probably would have gone for it. I did think at the time of going for it on 4th down and going for the win. But I just felt like going to overtime in that situation, not knowing how they were going to come back. They didn't have. They only had one timeout at that time, and then they had burned it on the 3rd down. So, I just felt like in that situation. Being at home, you kick the field goal, you get the tie, you go, possibly to overtime, or you have an opportunity to pin them back, which we did, and you got an opportunity to get the ball back, which we did. We had an opportunity, we didn't get it done.
Over here, left, Coach.
How much did it impact you not to have? How much did it impact the play calling to not have Matt out there? Obviously, Brandon was way more involved in the offense. Was he going to get all those touches, or was that as a result of Matt being out?
Well, as a result of Matt being out, but again, we've got. It's not just about running the ball; it's about protections and a lot of things going into making those decisions. And Brandon is a guy that does a nice job of catching the ball out of the backfield. He does a nice job in protection. He does a nice job with all of those things.
Final question. Two more questions for Coach Richard, and then right there in the middle. Richard.
How do you think the protection was of Jeff kind of in total?
Well, I thought it was pretty good. We didn't have any sacks. Didn't give up any negative plays. I think one time he got a little push in the 3rd quarter there from 94. Does a nice job rushing the passer. Nice push in the pocket right there. But other than that, I thought we protected pretty well. They maxed us quite a bit in the game. Brought one more than we could handle. Jeff got rid of the ball in some situations. But I thought that for the most part we did a pretty nice job. Yeah.
I'll wrap up in the middle.
Coach, can you talk about some positives and negatives from Driscoll's performance?
Well, I think that hitting the deep ball there late was obviously a positive. We missed the one deep ball to DeMarcus where he had to step on the receiver. I think we'll go back and watch the film and continue to for him to improve and for us to improve around him. He had an opportunity to win the game, and he threw a nice ball in that situation. So we got to continue to work in the passing game to get better. Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
I'm going to bring Andre DeBose up to the front of the podium, and a couple other Florida players will be in here shortly.
You got five career touchdowns now on special teams. This is your first punt. What did it feel like just to get in the end zone there?
It felt great. Just feels good to be contributing to the team. Just happy to get in the end zone.
Andre, will you talk about the emotions of a back-and-forth game that kind of exploded in the 4th quarter there?
It was definitely challenging one, man. The emotions going up and down, the score going back and forth. It was definitely emotionally wreck. But this is what you come to Florida for these type of games.
Is there a bit of an empty feeling with the way that it ended? Could you talk about that?
I mean, definitely. I mean, we didn't get the W, so I mean that's definitely an empty feeling. But we played hard. We fought to the end, and I mean that's all we can ask for is just playing our guts out.
Andre, there towards the end, obviously they're not kicking the ball to you. How frustrating does that get?
Oh, it's very frustrating, man. You know, just knowing that I can't really make a difference. You know, it feels good that they kicking it away from me, but I'm trying to help the team, and you know they can kind of just take you out the game if they kick it out of bounds.
Can you just talk about the mood of the team right now after a tough loss, one that you certainly could have gotten out of here and gone 4-1, and now things kind of go the other way?
Oh well, we'll be okay. This team is a will net team. We're as close as they come. This won't bother us much. We're anxious to get back to work here Tuesday, Monday, and we're just going to look forward, man. We can't dawn on the past. We fought our hearts out. We left it all on the line. So I mean that's all we can ask for.
Any more? All right. Thanks, guys.
Question for Alex.
How y'all doing?
You guys can go ahead and have the microphone. You guys can go ahead. If you have a question, just go ahead and ask it.
What is obviously you guys are pretty high. You got a chance on offense to move the ball there late in the game. The interception happens, and then the situation with Troy happens. How does that kind of take you guys out of the game a little bit, you know, worrying about your teammate, and it kind of slows play down?
I mean, as far as taking us out the game, that it didn't take us out the game at all, not at all. With LaTroy being hurt now, that took a toll, but it didn't take us out the game. If anything, we played harder for our teammate. Yeah.
What happened on the third and long that they completed for the big game?
Third line they completed was just one of the things where they just hit one of us on it, you know. We just stick. We made plays throughout the game, you know. They just hit a big one.
Were you on the field at the end there where they reset the clock to 9 seconds?
No, I wasn't.
Why was it so difficult to kind of set the edge? I saw they kept bouncing their runs outside, taking up a bunch of yardage out there.
I mean, that's an eyes thing. It wasn't necessarily difficult. It was just an eyes thing. We just get our eyes in the right place. And that's about it as far as setting the edge.
How hard was it to tackle for him as he had a big game?
I mean, he's a big bat. Don't get me wrong, but it's tackle. You know, we just got to wrap up, game tackle. And that's what we're gonna do moving forward. We got a lot of good bats in this league still, so we just got to wrap up, move forward.
What was the message from the coaches after the game?
They just keep your head up. You know, we still control our own destiny. We lost to a team in the West. We got 4 more games in the East, so it's still on the table. Being in the SEC championship at the end.
Alex, how much confusion is there on that last play where the referees reset the clock? On the sideline, you're watching that. Does it seem like it doesn't make sense?
I mean, yeah. It was plenty confusion. I mean, stop the clock with the clock running. I mean, that's up to coach and the refs. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to speak much on it.
Last question for Alex before we bring Jeff up.
You went down. I can't remember. It was fourth quarter. You went down. Was it just cramps or?
Yeah, I just rolled up on my ankle. I'm good. I'll get some treatment. I'll be fine.
Thanks, Alex.
Appreciate it.
Questions for Jeff? Jeff, what did you see on the slant pattern play, and what was the decision to throw out the play call there?
Yeah, they brought pressure, field pressure, trying to get it to a void spot. Obviously, it didn't work out well. You know, I'm just praying God watches over LaTroy and everything works out for him. I've never really been in a situation like that. It's tough. But it's not in our hands right now. But I know that he's going to get all the proper care and all the proper treatment and what happens. And LaTroy's a fighter, so it's tough. Unfortunately, it's part of football, but it's really tough for both sides of that.
Is that a pass that you want to have back if you could?
Yeah, an interception to give them the ball there on the plus side of the field. I'd like to have that one back.
What was going through your mind when Tevin dropped that touchdown pass?
He did a great job of getting over and making himself. I saw him. He threw his hands up like this. He got open. He just he didn't make the play. Obviously, he'd like to have that one back, but physical mistakes happen. We're going to be there for him, and we're going to continue to pick him up because I'm sure he's feeling down on himself right now. But that's not a play that wins or loses a game.
In a game like this, Jeff, where you maybe were tested a bit mentally, emotionally, coming back in that game, is this also kind of a test for the team going forward, how you are resilient after a loss like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough loss. We would have liked to pull it out, but all our goals are in front of us. Hats off to LSU. They played a great game. We did a lot of nice things and a lot of things that obviously we need to get corrected. But we're gonna be down for today and watch the film and move forward and focus on Missouri and not look back.
You want to talk about the frustration in the first half with a couple of deep balls and then coming back and hitting one, how that felt?
Yeah, Under threw a couple deep balls there. DeMarcus did a good job of beating his guy early in the first half, and I didn't give him enough to go compete for the ball. One of them turned out to be an interception, and that's a guy that can stretch the field, and you just got to give him a shot and give him a shot late in the game, and he made a play. So it's we're going to continue to do it. We got to be able to hit some of those shots in order to win some of these games down the stretch.
Two final questions for Jeff. Jeff, is there anything you can pinpoint with the turnovers in the last two games, though, in particular, or anything that you can kind of reflect on and think going forward?
And try not to turn it over so much.
Jeff, can you talk about how challenging this week was in terms of the distractions, having Treon come back, and maybe thinking about that situation moving forward for you?
It was tough when you see one of your guys, something bad happened to him, but hopefully that's all straightened out now. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but we rallied together. It's easier to come off of something like that with a win, and we were going into this game confident, and we just didn't get it done. But it was good to have Treon back these last couple days.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.